for me, bro, it's the way that you keep showing up.
Yeah.
You know, it is financially, emotionally, spiritually. It's just you showing up. I grew up not having too many people show up for me. You know, I came to the country when I was 13 years old. Just me and my two little sisters. My brothers were not with me.
Yeah.
I had to be the brother. I had to be the man.
Rough.
Sometimes I had to pay the rent by myself.
Yeah.
Meeting up with the landlord and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the age of 13. I was forced to, you know, to have my own back.
Yo, people, welcome back to another installment of In Conversation with Rudy Samuel. Today I got someone I met in 2017.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was on a YouTube channel called Car Chats with some of my childhood friends. And we were shooting an episode with him and one of his friends, someone I got to know as well, Moses. Good guy, he's in America now. And that's where we hit it off. And I think later that year, November, I was turning 21. And I had this big bash. I invited everyone. And I invited him. I think I invited him to kind of solidify that friendship, to say, nah, come into my life, let me come into yours. And we've hit it off ever since. We've been through a lot, a lot of good, a lot of challenges. And today he's a father of one. He's married for 5 years, I think.
6 years.
6 years, yeah. 6 years. We were there, celebrated that. He's a content creator, and he works as well. He's a Christian, he's a follower of Christ. And he's my friend, he's my brother. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mr. Joel Kabalu. Yeah, Joe in the house.
That's such a dope intro, bro. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
so much. It's so crazy how you can, you know, remember all those moments that
Unforgettable.
we had, bro.
Yeah.
I still remember the party. And
It was lit.
it was nice. Shout out to DJ Sky.
Yeah. I think that party kind of launched him into
Yes,
what he is today.
Yes,
But
I remember you was telling me about it just the other day.
Yeah. But before we go on, this episode is brought to you by Rudy Samuel Services, a multi-service company like no other. If you have any needs for an MC, for any event, I'm your guy. If you need any event planning or event coordination, I'm your guy. Procurement, personal shopping, I am still your guy. Link will be in the description below, and don't hesitate to contact us. Anyways, we are back. So it's been quite a journey from, our friendship. How would you describe our friendship and the support we've shared for each other over the years since 2017?
Yo, bro. There's no words for it, to be honest, because, it just means a lot to me. You're someone that I truly appreciate. I'm not saying this just because we're on camera.
Yeah.
But if there's one word to describe our friendship, it's honesty. You're a very honest person. Even though you come across very rash. And sometimes I'll be like, yo, bro, come on.
I blame Rams.
But, you speak your mind. Yeah, you tell me exactly how you feel. It is spiritually or it is just live on its own. Or even if I'm going astray, you're like, hey, bro, listen.
Come back,
get things right. And I appreciate that about you. We have had our misunderstanding, but we've never let that, set us apart.
Yeah.
We always let that be a reason for us to resonate together and come back and see, eye to eye. I appreciate you so much, bro.
Likewise, I think for me as well, you are a voice of reason. You always come at me in a calm manner. I didn't actually know I needed that because I'm so used to like noise. Oh, don't do this, don't do that,
Right.
But with you, it's always like, nah, bruh, don't do that, dog. Nah, bruh, listen to me. When it's like this, and I'm like, okay, then I actually end up keeping quiet and I listen to what you have to say. So I really, really appreciate that honesty as well. And I think you enabled me to be vulnerable. I think all my friends bring that out of me because I don't see myself in a situation where I'm friends with someone and I'm not vulnerable. That's not real for me. And you really enable me to do that. And I think since we were young, we always believed in the same thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Marriage, life, growing with someone and stuff. I think one of my few friends that was very out loud about that, like myself. So I really, really appreciate that. And what are some of the stories that you may have, maybe one or two, where we really supported each other in whatever we were going through from the beginning to now?
Yo, bro, for me...
By the way, guys, this is his first time ever on an interview or a podcast. So I know my guy, he's tense right now. So Joel, relax. We're here. The viewers are here. I'm here. We are calm.
No, I know it's a set-off, bro. It's a set-off for great things.
Yeah.
just to get back, before I get back to your question, just the Lord was speaking to me sometime last year.
Yeah.
And God was telling me that this year is the year that is going to set me up.
Let's go.
I didn't really know what he meant by that. But then I think January, I got invited to a youth event to speak to the youth. About
Ferreira or something invited you.
Shout out to Ferreira. He invited me to speak to the youth about, overcoming depression and all that. I was like, okay, what are you doing? I'm seeing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then you hit me up like, hey, bro, I'm making my return.
And I gave you a professional invite.
Exactly. In
Chat GPT and all.
It was amazing. That's why I'm so nervous, because I don't want to flop.
Nah, don't worry. You got this. This is home, bro. You see how we are off camera? Just be yourself, bro.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then I got another invitation on, I think sometime in May.
Love that.
And I was like, wow, God is up to something.
Yeah.
Anyway, getting back to your question, for me, bro, it's the way that you keep showing up.
Yeah.
It is financially, emotionally, spiritually. It's just you showing up. I grew up not having too many people show up for me. I came to the country when I was 13 years old. Just me and my two little sisters. My brothers were not with me.
Yeah.
I had to be the brother. I had to be the man.
Rough.
Sometimes I had to pay the rent by myself, meeting up with the landlord and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the age of 13. I was forced to, to have my own back.
Yeah.
Because you look back and you have no one else. And yeah, bro, for me, I always showed up for everyone else. And you showing up for me, especially in times of need, bro, it'd be with my family, my son, bro, it's just a phone call. And even if you don't have what I'm looking for, you always find your way to show up. And I appreciate that. I don't have too many people like that in my life. I can count them, bro. Literally. I can literally count them. And that's just...
I really believe in teamwork makes the dream work. I don't like this culture of being alone, keeping to yourself. I really believe life is done in groups, in circles.
Yes,
and I always show up for my loved ones. It's not easy. Sometimes I don't have much to give, whether it's physically, emotionally, financially, but at least that person in my life needs to know that I can count on him no matter what. And that's what I feel for you as well. Your wife makes the best tea, by the way. Like, no one has made tea for me as great as Taylor Kabalu.
I know you always say that.
I'm so sorry, bro. Like, I have to put that out there, So that's one of the reasons why I'm friends with you. Anyway, and I think on my end as well. Again, I keep talking about advisors because I like to be intentional about the voices that I let in, And I know if I'm stuck with something, I can go to you. Especially, getting into the field I'm in now that you've been in for 6 years.
Yeah.
If I'm stuck, I know this guy's just a phone call away.
Yeah.
And the constant reference to the Lord, Jesus Christ and God and stuff, it helps me.
Yeah.
And we have some serious conversations, off camera in our daily link-ups.
Yeah.
And that's what I really, really appreciate, in those times. And you were there for my wedding stuff as well.
Sir. I was not just there, I was a groomsman.
Yeah, you were a groomsman as well. Yeah. And he danced there. He danced. I never seen this guy move before. Unlike that time, So you guys, all 6 of you, really, really showed up for me, and I appreciate it. But yeah, let's get into your personal stuff a bit. You just opened up about your siblings and stuff, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
Let's start with how you and Taylor met. The story about that, and how did you know that she was the one?
Yo. It's crazy. We went to the same college. We're in the same class. And I didn't see her at first, but I think she saw me. And she was, stalking me there on the register, trying to get my number and all. So what actually happened is that I think it was the second day, one of my friends showed me her. It's like, yo, bro. No, I think I was talking to my friend Chris. I was like, who's that girl? And then he was like, she's in our class actually. I was like, no, she's not. He's like, no, she is. I'm like, okay. All right, I know exactly what I'm gonna do.
Let's go.
So then they ended up separating us. They put me in a different class, and the guy I was sitting next to, he was like, yo, bro, I like that girl.
Oh, man.
In my mind, I'm like, I'll pity you some way.
Nigga, you lost.
So, you know how God works things out. And we came out, our class came out first, and then she was coming out. I grabbed her. Literally, my pickup lines were terrible.
Of course, you don't have game.
I don't have, what did these kids say?
Riz, yeah, Riz.
Not. I just pulled her and I told her, you look nice. And she was like, thank you. And later on, our journey started from there.
Yeah.
Got the numbers and, the rest is
history. Yeah, I got to see a glimpse, or I get to have a glimpse of your life. And I think it's safe to say that a lot of what you've achieved today comes through her pushing, because she pushes you.
Yes, sir.
Come on,
yes,
Joel, man. Please. Joel, no, man.
I always say that my wife put me under pressure, bro. Yeah. If I am the man I am today, it's because of her. And,
she pushes
just like
you,
Diamond, bro. Diamond has to go under pressure because Diamond by itself doesn't know its value.
Yeah.
So it has to be crashed in order for the value to be out there.
Yeah.
And she's actually that person, behind the scene. A lot of people see my achievement. They see all this where God is taking me.
Yeah.
But behind the scene, bro, she put me under pressure.
Yeah.
Like,
but those who know.
They know, know.
Like I know. Hey, when it comes to Taylor,
I have to be home at a certain time.
I know. We got in trouble. We got in trouble 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I'm like, I don't even stay here, but I'm in trouble as well. Yo, I left after 10 minutes. I was like, no.
She keeps me grounded.
The mood here is scary. Let me leave.
But it's out of love. It's not like something she's jealous or controlling.
100%.
It's not controlling. It's out of love. She bro, I get easily distracted, and I one thing I love about my wife is that she keeps me in track. God literally uses her to keep me in track. Something that I had to learn from my mentor. My mentor said to me one day, he said to me that you got to listen to your wife a lot. You got to listen to her because God is going to use her a lot to speak to you. Yeah. God will use her a lot to shape you. So you got to listen to her. At first, I wasn't, bro. First, we've been together for 5 years, going to 6 years. The first 3 years of marriage, I was just stubborn, bro.
Yeah.
And the past 2 years, and after my son being born, I was like, yo, listen.
Let me humble myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna be humble.
I appreciate that. You mentioned your son. So you guys are in an interracial, intercultural marriage. And he's a beautiful, naughty boy. Sainty. So I got 2 questions. How has fatherhood changed you? And then there's a question here from Rams. He was in the last episode. Yeah. You guys do have a relationship as well. I appreciate that. Yeah. How do your 2 cultures, how do you find the balance in bringing up your son with the 2 cultures? Like, how do you prioritize what you want him exposed to versus what you don't want him exposed to? So how has fatherhood changed you? Yeah. And how do you and Tay raise saints with your different cultures? Yeah.
Okay, fatherhood, bro, I don't know how to put it in words. Fatherhood has made me soft. Saint has made me soft, literally. Bro, there's something that I got to learn about God through my journey, to having him in my life, that the mercy of God, So I've become soft. I grew up with all the siblings that were always tough on me. Hey, you need to do that. Hey, get up. You cry, and then they don't ask you what's the reason, why you crying. They'll just jump on you straight. But with Saint is different, bro. When he's crying, you try your best. I try my best to get to understanding what's the reason. Why you crying? Can I do something? Can I help you? That has changed me, It has made me softer. And it's not just with my son. That's with even the kids around me, my nephews and nieces, they can,
shout out Blessing, my fave.
They can, say that, this guy has changed. Before I was rough. I used to punish them and all that. But before I get to the punishment now, I try to reason with them.
I like
understand,
that. That's deep, bro.
Where they're coming from. Why did you do that before I could jump into, any sort of punishment? That has changed a lot. And Saint, oh, bro, I'm Muluba, first of all.
Yeah. And, you are proud of that, bro.
I'm a hardcore Muluba.
You even speak Muluba, bro.
I even speak it.
Malukai and them, man,
100% Muluba, so I'm very rooted in my culture. And, Saint, which, at the same time, my wife is not so culture, so... Well, how we raise him is that we have reached a common understanding whereby we don't have to be rough on him, because we know with the Luba parents, they're tough. They're tough. You have never seen a Luba parent cry. You have never seen a Luba parent, complain. You just see him as rough, So with us, we try to do soft parenting, with him, and make him, build confidence. One thing also we do is that we...
Yeah, he's so confident. He jumps from the slide to the ground.
We allow him to do that, to figure it out.
He must break his arm so he can learn.
We allowed him because if we keep him, like my culture, the way the Luba people are set up is that you can't do certain thing in public. You can't act certain way. You have to be disciplined. You have to do this way.
Yeah.
So with him, at the same time, we make sure that he's polite, it's not rude, but we allow him to explore. We allow him to see the world for what is, and at the back, we dare to guide him. So,
and you made him start working already. He's been doing content already. He needs to pay school fees from before, boy.
I don't know if that answers the question.
Yeah, no, it's a perfect answer. I appreciate that. I'm not there yet. And I am a little bit scared about soft parenting because of how soft the world is.
Yeah.
Too much offense happens. People get offended easily.
Yeah.
And I do feel that we still need to discipline our kids more. But I like the part where you say you talk to him first and you try to get him, you try to understand.
Yeah.
I need to take that because I'm ready to. I always tell my mom, I'm ready to give what I received. I received, so I'm ready to give back. It's all I know. Yeah. But I turned out decent, I think, So I want to move into something else that's like very, very deep for you, and it is the base of everything we've spoken about already.
Yeah.
Our friendship, your marriage, and your fatherhood, your faith, our faith, our beliefs, your beliefs in Jesus. And tell us about that, because you preach at church from time to time.
Yeah.
Your content is centered around that in a way, as well as you try to raise saints in that. Your marriage is based off of that, and our friendship is based off of that. So, tell us about your beliefs and what it means for you.
Yeah. No, I'm a firm believer of Jesus Christ. I believe in him as my Lord and Savior. I'm a pastor's kid. My dad really, I like the way that he...
Have some water, dog. I bought you water. You've been here racing to the podcast. Have some water, relax.
Shout out to you.
But shout out. You're a PK, yeah?
So I'm a PK. My dad, I like the way that my dad raised us. He never really forced us into believing in Christ. He really, there's no day, I don't have a record that I can remember when we sat down with my dad and he opened the Bible and started preaching to us. I said, He allowed us to make that decision.
I like
to choose Christ for ourselves. So I knew about Christ, but I didn't know him. I got to know him when I was invited to an event, and I was sitting there and I was seeing the manifestation of the Holy Spirit and people breaking down and speaking in tongues. I was just like,
what's going on here?
I know these things, man.
Yeah.
I wasn't so impressed. And then I said to the Lord, I said, if I have a calling, if you have called me for something great, let it be ministry, whatever it is. Also, ministry is just not the pulpit. A lot of people get that
100%,
wrong.
yeah.
Ministry is not just standing and preaching. Ministry is the life that you're living off the pulpit, off the church, and outside the church, I mean. So I was like, God, if you have called me, speak to me. I want you to speak to me. Then I was facing down. This man came to me. I think I still have the picture. I'll share it with you. This man came to me and says to me, Edgars, I think he's Edgars from the church in Pretoria.
I don't know. There's many. It's a Congolese church?
It's a Congolese church. Reverend Doxa Church.
I know the youth, Young Winners.
Yeah, Young Winners.
Revival Family Church. Revival.
That was Young Winners.
At Young Winners, okay.
Yeah. In Midrand. And he came to me and he began to speak to me. He said, hey, bro, you have a calling. God called you to great things. You are a prophet. And there's a lot of things that God is going to be doing. For me, that was it. I met Christ. I was like, this is not him speaking to me. This is Christ, presenting himself to me. And then from there, I started discovering Christ for myself. I started meditating. I had guidance and, from Mr. Dave. He played a lot.
Yeah, he's a big part of your life, Mr. Dave.
Yeah, big part.
He's a good guy.
Still is. Mentorship. Then I met my pastor that, coached me into the things of God, and that's where I am.
When was the time in your life where your faith was really tested, and how did you come out of that?
My faith was tested sometime when I just got married, after getting married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually skipped that question. So thank you for bringing me back, because I witnessed
My
the
faith was,
difficulties.
you were there with me all
Yeah.
along. That's why I
Yeah.
appreciate you. That's
Yeah.
why when you
Yeah.
say, hey, bro, I want to have you on my episode, I jump, bro.
Yeah.
First year of marriage. After just getting married, man, I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to be very open here.
Yeah.
So, bro, like, I was young, bro. And, you
guys were young.
Bro was super. My wife was 22 years old at the time. I think I was 25. Not really young, 25, not really young, but you're still young.
Yep.
And my parents literally cut me off everything.
Like, nah, you're a man.
You're a man now. I mean,
let's go.
you chose to get married. So you got to figure this thing out. And I remember one of my uncles was saying to me, marriage is like a highway, bro. There's no turning back. You're going straight. So I was going through it, bro. I didn't have a job. It's crazy faith. We both didn't have jobs. We got married, and we were like, yo, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, dude, are we sure of what we're doing? One thing about my wife, though, bro, I've never seen my wife pray like our praying, right? She has this silent, private praying type of life that she's
That's
living.
where the magic
But
happens.
when she speaks, bro, whatever she speaks happens. There's times where my faith is even less. She'll just speak and the thing happens. So my wife was like, you know what? We're going to figure it out. I was like, how are we going to eat? We're going to figure out. Literally, when we started, we never shared it. I'm going to share it with you on your podcast, that we had no fridge.
I was there, remember? When we used to keep the food in the
cooler box.
Cooler box.
Yeah,
in the first
with
few
ice.
weeks it was the cooler box. Yeah, I remember.
Ice,
Yeah.
We used to literally keep food there.
Yeah.
And we have to eat the food the same day.
Yep.
If you leave the food for a day,
That's it.
that's it.
Yeah.
Tomorrow you have to get food.
Yeah.
So, bro, I was just like, God, I was trying to sort out my documents at the same time, just so I can, get things in order. I just came back from Congo, so I just had to sort out things that needed to be sorted. So I was just like, God, like, listen, this is not my life, you know. Then my wife got a job. God blessed her with a job. It wasn't really
That
sufficient.
time she was an au pair, I think.
No, before she became an au pair, she had a job that was paying her 3,000 rand. And she was driving the BM to work.
The white BMW.
To work. How she was doing it, I don't know, bro. I don't know how we were doing it, honestly. She was driving the BM to work, getting paid 3,000 rand because she was just an assistant. She wasn't a teacher. So we're living off that. And being a man and not being able to
That used
provide,
to show you flames.
bro,
I know how you. Every time I come visit,
Bro.
we say bye to Taylor. We go downstairs.
Bro.
We spend like another 45 minutes.
I will.
And,
I will talk live to
Yeah,
you, bro. I was just like, bro,
I will
I'm
talk
tired.
live to you too.
Yeah, you used
I'll be
to.
like, nah,
You're like,
boy,
bro,
don't be
keep
tired, dog.
going.
It's gonna be okay.
And
Don't
I remember
worry,
saying to
man.
you, like, bro, don't get married like this.
Trust me, I heard you.
I was like, bro, don't get married like this. Don't ever do this silly, crazy move, bro. But my mother, shout out to my mother.
Yeah,
God
yeah.
bless my mother. Yo, my mother came through for me, bro. Nobody knows this story, but my mother came through. She's like, listen, my son, one thing I like about you is your bold move. As a mother, I'm going to support you for a year. That's what I'm going to do. I'll support you for a year. I'm going to take care of your rent. I'm giving you a year to figure these things out. You spoke to me about content creation. You spoke to me about too many things. I don't care what you're going to do, but you need to figure it out because after a year, I'm cutting you off.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow. Okay, I was like, that will do, but still the fact that you can't provide for your partner,
Yeah,
bro,
yeah.
it was...
Remember,
it
you
was-
had to do promotions far away.
Before
there.
we got to the promotion, I got to the promotion, bro,
rough.
it was tough.
Yeah.
There was days where, literally sleep on bread.
Yeah, Albany.
Albany. Maybe I might get a deal from Albany.
Bro, that would be coming full circle, full circle moment.
So, bro, there's one time I was on the highway, bro. I still remember this day. I was just like, God, I'm useless. There's no
Yeah.
point. I mean, I'm seeing my friends working and I'm seeing all these people around me getting into their life, getting into their bags. I was just like, maybe I should just flip this BM, man.
Yeah.
Call it, like, let's call it, let's call it off. Like, what's the point? You spoke to me years ago about being a prophet and all these great things that you said to me. I don't see it.
hear
I'm not
that,
seeing none of these things.
Tough, yeah.
So what are you literally? Are you the Bible speaks about not being a son of man to lie and all these things, but listen, what I'm living, it's like a lie, you know. And then, bro, the Holy Spirit spoke to me. I was so close to doing it. The Holy Spirit says to me, if you do it, your wife's faith is going to be affected. The heaven is going to lose a soul because your decision. It is not just you that's going to be affected. Everyone around you is going to be affected. Think about your wife, your mom. The pain that you're going to cause them.
Yeah.
So from there, bro, I was like, okay, if you're saying this, then you got to do something. Remember, I met up with one of my friends, connected me to promotion job. I started doing promotion.
Yeah.
I was in the streets, bro.
Yeah, you were going
heading
far away.
flyers.
Yeah, bro.
Flyers, literally there by the robot.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm going to do it. There's something that God is working on behind the scene.
Yeah.
I started doing it. I got promoted from being just a promoter to a supervisor.
Yeah.
So I started going around Joburg, Pretoria. I would go around places to supervise promoters. And then from there, I built my CV. God came through. I got the job that I have right now.
Yeah, man, and it's been taking care of you. We moved to Walter Freedom Park, nice apartment, upstairs, downstairs, lovely
Fairlands,
lounge. Fairlands, yeah. Life was good. There was a fridge now, there was a nice flat screen TV on the wall, nice couch, like an L-shaped couch. And then now we're living in a nice house, but that's personal stuff. All right, let's get into your career as a content creator. First of all, I have a question from Sir Joel Anderson on Instagram. He says, how does one balance being a creative and a dad in a nice brief answer?
Oh, it's difficult. The answer would be planning. I had to learn the hard way to plan content. If I don't plan, my content suffers. Because I'm a present dad. I like to be there. I never miss a day, bathing that child.
Yeah.
I'm always there. So you have to plan. If you don't plan, the contents are going to suffer. So that's my short answer.
Yeah.
So that's the best way to balance it. So I plan it out. I know, okay, we drop him at school in the morning. I have to rest because of the job that I do. I wake up 12 to, because I fetch him from school at 3, 4, okay. So I have few hours. Maybe I can get 4 hours sleep. That's enough for me. I get up, I shoot the content that I need to shoot. I get up, I edit. If there's a brand campaign, I shoot, I edit, I post it. I just leave it there to schedule it for the day that needs to be posted. Fetch him from school, and then things are put on the side. Content stop. And it's just about him and just giving him all my time. Because the thing is, I didn't grow up with that.
Dad was busy.
My dad was always been busy. Not that to say I understand him because he needed. It's because of him that I am where I am.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, so I always wanted him to be present more than, anything. So God gave me that chance to be present.
Yeah,
so.
It's all about being intentional, But honestly, you're killing it, bro, as a content creator. Like, I can't do that.
We thank God.
I can't do that. But when I look at you, bro, sometimes I'm like, what comment can I comment to give this guy my like his flowers? Sometimes I just put fire emojis because I am so proud of you, bro. From where we came from. Back in the days, he used to pose like this all the time on Instagram. No face, no case. But today he's showing us, you know. And when did you know that this thing is what you want to do? No matter what people can say, blah, blah, blah. Oh, how can a man... Screw that. When did you know content creation was your thing?
What got me to content creation was my love for fashion.
Yeah.
So I had that clear vision, It's all about having a vision. When you have a clear vision, it doesn't matter. I was just sharing on Instagram on my way here, I was sharing that, God gave Abraham the vision and Abraham's eyes was fixed on the vision. It didn't matter what anyone said. It was, his eyes, his faith, everything was based on the vision that the Lord showed him that it was going to make him great and all those other nice things. So for me, it was... My eyes were always on the vision. I knew that it was going to pay off. I didn't know when, but I knew. So
that's one thing about you. You always knew, bro.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, my love for fashion is about time I start showcasing, my outfit. It's not to say that, I got a great style, but I just want to show you, my style, where you can get affordable clothes without breaking your back and, and all those things, Yeah.
And I've seen you work with, I don't know, Markham's, Edgars,
Bro.
Office London.
Bro.
what are the other big names, bro? Handy Andy
Office
recently,
London.
Office London, yeah, said that.
Yeah.
So many, like it's
Yeah.
all there on your Instagram highlights.
Yeah.
How, bro? How does that happen?
Consistency.
Yeah,
Consistency.
it's a key word, eh?
Yeah. Consistency is the key because brands, want to see someone that's busy. If you're not busy, they wouldn't want to work with you. They also want to work with what is hot, So, and they like new faces. So you got to be consistent. And the more consistent you are, the more the algorithm will play to your favor. Instagram will actually, without you paying for ads, Instagram will start referring you to other people, and that's how it just goes. Consistency, bro. That's how they were able to see me.
Yeah, I have a question from another Joel. So this is Joel. That was
Shout
Joel.
out to all the
and this
Joel.
is a Joel female
Yeah.
at Heart of a Giver. She says, what is the intersection of faith and creativity or content creation look like? And what does it mean to you? So how do you combine your faith and your content creation? How does it look like? What does it mean to you?
Wow, that's such a good question. 5 years ago, I had a chance to meet up with Pastor Atoms.
What a man.
Yeah, he said to me that everything that you have comes from God. You are just a worker in God's company. So there isn't really, you can't separate them. They're all one thing. They all come from God. So you just need to get God involved. So as long as God is involved, God is the master of creativity. I mean, look at the things that we have around us. The time it took him to
It
create
happened
it.
in Genesis, yeah. Jeez, yeah.
So look at Genesis, bro. How you come up with let it be sun and the sun, there's clarity. Now let it be this and that and begin to create. So creativity comes from God. As long as you are connected to the source, bro, you're always going to stay
I love
creative.
that.
Yeah.
That's a nice answer. Yeah, there's so many people that really want to do this content creation thing like you. And I know we can have a whole episode on this. But like, for the sake of time, could you maybe find a way to like break it down? Like, what advice would you give to people in the game, people that have just started as well, especially those that have just started or want to start?
Yeah.
What it takes to be a content creation, how to do it, a content creator, sorry,
Yeah.
how to do it. Yes, I know you got to be consistent, but how do I start so that I can become consistent?
Yeah. No.
Because there's different, this YouTube stuff, I can do that.
Yeah.
But that stuff that you do, the
It's
editing and
difficult.
all right, guys, check out this product placement, all of that,
Yeah,
bro.
it's hard.
Please give them the advice, please.
What's funny is that my wife and I are working on an ebook that it's going to be out soon.
Love that.
That's we breaking down everything that I know without gatekeeping anything. But if to answer the question,
That's so important, bro. May
Yeah.
God bless you because we're living in a gatekeeping age.
Yeah.
Everything, everyone wants to gatekeep. So you guys taking it out there, may God reward you guys in
Amen,
ways
bro.
you've never ever seen in Jesus'
amen,
name.
Amen.
Shout out, bro.
And we're thinking of taking it big, but this just when God allows us to link up again,
Yeah.
we'll bring the book and we'll
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
we'll discuss about it.
100%. You heard it here first. I'll launch the book.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
That would be such an amazing thing.
Yeah.
So, because when I started, there was nobody to guide me. Everyone, the guys that were making money, were literally like, "Hey, I'm this guy." I've been blue tick so many times. Now we link up at events like, "Hey, I see you." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here now." But anyway, to answer your question, you gotta find your niche. I know it's cliche because you hear it from all the content creators. They tell you, now find your niche, find your niche. But it's important it's like being a content creator is the same as being an entrepreneur. You got to find the problem within the digital world and provide a solution. And that comes, it's much easier when it's a gift, when you're doing what you love. So find something that you're really good at. Invest everything in that one thing. Just do that one thing. Because here's the thing. People start and then they want to do lifestyle content creation. They want to do product review. They're on tech. What are you doing?
Yeah.
If I come on your page, I want to see something that leads me, that describes you without you telling me who you are. So if it's fashion that you really want to do, stick to fashion. So when I come to your page, I see fashion, I'm going to be interested. I'll follow you without you asking me to follow you. So that is your field. When you invest everything in that field will allow you to expand. You're going to grow into many other things. And the content creation world, it's not a limited world. There's so many things that you can do.
Yeah.
There's so many other, what do I say? What's the word? There's so many other field that you can tap in. So the first key is finding your niche. As soon as you find your niche, work on it, give it everything, and then start building a community. Because most of the time, these guys, they're chasing numbers. Numbers don't mean anything. I've worked with people that had less than 1,000 followers. I've worked with guys, that literally, they're not even content creators, bro. They're not even content creators like that. You can say. So numbers don't mean nothing. What is more important is a community, because your community will follow you, either on social media or out of social media. So build a community, and once you have a community, feed that community. The brands are interested in your community because they believe.
I like that.
They believe that your community is not aware of them. Why is Adidas still doing advertisements?
Imagine, bro. Even Coke.
Why is Telkom still out there handing out flyers?
Yeah.
Why do we have promoters in the street? Because they believe there's a whole generation that don't know about them. They believe there's a group of people don't know about them. So now if you have influence over that group, it's easy for a brand to come to you because they trust that you can bring value to them.
Oh, that ebook needs to come out as soon as possible. Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I have a question here from Tashka, all the way from Dubai.
Dubai, shout out to
You
Tashka.
know, N dot. Yeah. How do you step out of the mold of what people think a male content creator should be?
Wow.
How do you get out of that? A nigga must do this. And you're like, nah, I'm getting
I'm
out
going to
of
do
it.
skincare.
These days, which I think I need some. Hey, lately, my face is breaking out.
Now I'm
bro.
going to plug you.
Please, dog. Hey,
I'm
man.
going to plug you. Oh, man. Bro. When you live life based on people's opinion, based on what people think, you'll never do anything. Bro, imagine if Joseph had to limit himself based on what his brothers were saying, or David had to limit himself because his brothers knew about Goliath, and David shows up and says, what's going on here? What are you guys on about? Who's this guy? They're like, listen, you're a small boy, go back home. This thing is not your size. This thing is not your level. If David had based his faith and belief on that, he wouldn't have defeated Goliath. But their opinion, his own siblings' opinion didn't matter to him. He believed in whatever that he believed in, that he was going to take that man down. And they took him down. So here's the thing. People's opinion don't pay. My wife always say, as long as they don't pay our rent, they don't matter.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So for me, and she, honestly, this mindset, I'm not gonna pretend here like it's just something
easy,
that I have now.
Yeah.
No. I used to really care a lot about people's opinion. It used to affect me, bro. Like I wouldn't sleep. But I learned that from her. Literally, you can say mean things to my wife now. It will affect her. But few hours later, she forgets, bro.
Hey, no man, Joel.
She's like, she forget. And I kept asking her, how do you do that? How do you get to that mindset? And, through time, I had to learn that, yeah. So
I hope that, the viewers have gone on like this nice life journey of yours, as an individual and, us as a collective. Yeah. And we've spoken about what you did, what you're doing. And, for the next 10 years, 5 to 10 years, what are you hoping? What are you praying for with regards to your life, your marriage, for your son, and our friendship as well, and the things that we're doing as individuals? Yeah. What are you praying for? What are you hoping? What are you expecting for the next 5 to 10 years?
Wow, that's such a good question.
Thank you, bro.
Honestly, I've become very obedient to what God has instructed me. I don't know what 10 years. I don't even know what a second from now looks like.
That's deep.
We can step out of here and whatever happens next, that belongs to God. My brother always says to me, "You have the now." The next seconds belongs to God. So the next 10 years, I have a vision, but I think I lean more to listen and be obedient to what God has instructed me. If I have to answer your question based on me, the next 10 years, I don't really want to do content creation as I'm doing. I wanna set platforms to help, young content creators and, set a whole agency, where, they
Can
benefit.
I be an investor?
Yes, of course.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
No, they honest agency, that helps and empowers them to do better and get the money and from there, bro. I believe that I'm not really called ministry like to have like a church. I have a calling where I'll be around, going around the world and minister, telling my story based on my walk with Jesus
God bless
Christ.
you, yeah.
And yeah, because I honestly don't think the church thing of being on the pulpit and having a physical church is a thing for me. No, I don't think so. I feel like God is gonna call me eventually when the time is right.
Yeah.
I'll be traveling around and impacting people and letting them know how amazing Jesus Christ is. Yeah.
And for our friendship?
Yes, of course. To answer that, bro, I wanna be in business with you, bro.
Yeah, man.
If there's anyone that I really want to be in business with, it's you. You're very disciplined.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, and I need someone like that by my side. I already have my wife, but as a male figure next to me that's very disciplined, that you like things certain, or you like things in order. You're very punctual as well. So I know that if when the time is right, let me not say if, because I'm speaking, I'm conversing.
We're big on that.
When the time is right and we have that thing, I know that it's gonna benefit me and my family a lot.
Yeah, the agency, bro. The agency. I think that would be a good start, Yeah. And I've got one more question from the followers. Debs, my cousin, I think she was your partner at the wedding.
Yes, she
the
was.
tall people.
Yeah.
She just asked one simple question: how do you do it?
Oh wow.
How are you a dad? How are you a husband?
Oh, wow.
How are you a content creator? How are you a friend? How do you take care of your niece and nephew, Salem and Blessing? And how do you do everything?
Wow.
How do you do it? Oh, that's what she said. How do you do it? Wow. So I'm breaking it down for you and the
Thank
viewers.
you for breaking it
How
down.
do you do it?
God is the reason. God is the first reason. I allow God to lead me. I'm not saying that I stumble. I stumble and fall many times. Anger easily get to me. Social media, my walk with Christ is not the best. It's not perfect. But one thing is I get up and walk again. And I allow God to lead me at all time, every time. Even when I feel like, I'm far from him, I just like, God, listen, I need you. So for me, how I do it, God is the reason why. I know it sounds it's like, that's obvious.
But
no,
when you break
literally.
it down like that, because I think a lot of the time people have this idea that as Christians, you must be perfect or you are perfect and stuff. But there are things that we go through, bro.
You will face it.
There are some serious things that we go through.
Bro, Jesus leaves the disciple and says that in this world, you're going to suffer many things. Why does he say that?
He knows.
If we're gonna give our life to you, we're expecting our lives to be, our walk with you to be like, this amazing walkway, we're living heaven on earth, No. But Jesus said, no, it's not like that. You're gonna suffer many things. He suffered, but this is the confidence. The word is that because I have overcome,
after everything,
because I've overcome, you also overcome. So. The devil most of the time plays with our mind. When you stumble and fall, when you get yourself caught up in addiction and your mind gets prisoned to that addiction, you start feeling like you're not worthy to be in God's presence. You're not worthy to speak to God. That's the devil's thinking, because that's what it knows. He knows that if he can affect your faith and God can be far away from you, he has total control. He can destroy you. And that's what he does. He comes steal, kill, and destroy.
100%,
so if you get your mind to think like that, you are not going to be consumed by the worldly things and all these things. But if you rely on God, trust God. Bro, like I don't want to even go too deep, but if
feel free, brother.
David sins. David, is the reason why that man died, because he wanted the man's wife. David gets rebuked by Samuel, and guess what he says?
Not me.
No, not you. David gets rebuked by Samuel. David goes, "Oh Lord, forgive my sins. Do not withdraw your spirit from me," because without the Spirit of God, bro, you are useless. You are at the mercy of the enemy.
100%.
David said, do not withdraw your spirit, because if I'm a king, if I have the things I have, it's because of your spirit. And that's what the devil does. So how I do it, I know that I have to get back up, run after God, pursue him, because I know he's the source of my strength. If I'm down, my whole family is down, bro. There's some days where, bro, I'm hit. brands are not coming through.
Yeah.
You need that extra income, this and that. And at home, they can't feel, bro. Mon cher.
When you say mon cher, it's tough.
Tension, and it's quiet. We're eating on the table and it's quiet.
It's just the fork and knife making noise.
And I understood, okay, these people depend on my spirit. I can't allow this to happen. Even when it happens, bro, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. It does happen.
Yeah.
I'm human,
Yeah.
but I still run back. I run back to God, and so that's the way.
No, I appreciate that. That's a good question, good answer.
I can go on and on.
Honestly, we can. And finally, bro, we reached the end. What's one piece of advice or truth that has shaped your journey and continues to guide you today from whoever?
Wow.
I'll go first.
Okay.
My dad always tells me respect people because you never know. So respect everyone.
Wow.
So it's innate. It's in me. I do my best to respect everyone. I can have an issue with someone. I can beef with someone. I wouldn't beef with someone for no reason. There has to be something that someone did for me to.
But even that, what I admire about you still respect the person.
100%.
And you choose to love them from
100%,
far.
yeah.
And that.
But it's not easy. People test you.
Yeah, I know.
Bruv. I'm not perfect. You and Ram said some really good things on this episode and the last one, and I'm really thankful. And it encourages me because I was going through a phase where I felt like I'm not really a nice person. So shout out to you guys for that. I appreciate it.
You need to be reminded.
Thank you.
And that's why I'm here to remind you that, bro, I love the fact that you respect people despite how they feel towards you, despite the misunderstanding, and you choose to love them from far. There's people, bro, that I know that would just be like, hey, Yinda.
It's on now.
It's on.
Let's go.
Sorry, guys. It's like, hey, it's on.
Yeah.
We're going to take it. Yeah. Wherever you want to take it, we're going to take it.
Let's go right there,
I don't care. My dad, my father, my mother, but you withdraw. You withdraw. I've seen that a lot, many times you withdraw. It's not because I'm in your podcast. Bill, we leave. Let's put the podcast aside.
This is how we are off camera. Yeah.
And you put that aside. You're like, you know what? It's not gonna be all right with me and this person. It's not gonna work out. But you know what? I'm gonna love the person.
100%.
Whenever we get a chance to meet up, and we're gonna talk it out. But I've chosen to love you from far with no hate, nothing. Yeah. And that's a mindset. That's a beautiful mindset.
Shout out, bro. Yeah. But for me, it's respecting everyone. Car guards, cashiers, securities, cleaners, janitors, CEOs. I'm not starstruck by a CEO. This is some governor.
Yeah.
Okay, I was at an event. I was emceeing last week at the conference.
That was major.
I met big people, bro.
Major. I saw.
I looked at them as if I was looking at a normal guy. Do you understand? Because this is life. Things can switch.
Yeah, you can.
Like this, you know what I mean?
God can humble you.
Exactly, bro. And what about you? What was the best advice or truth that has shaped your journey and continues to guide you today?
I thank God that we have parents that speak life to us, and we have dads that speak the word. Your dad reminds me so much of my father because they have that confidence in them. They believe, they're firm believers, bro. So the best advice is from my parents to always remember, that you are called for great things in this world. Never let the now affect your tomorrow. Even if you face challenges right now, always remember the bigger person that you are meant to be. And look onto that bigger person, and you're gonna eventually get there. So hard work, dedication. My dad said to me as well that sorry about that.
Even me, 3 o'clock, my alarm also goes off. Please leave this in. My alarm also goes off at 3 just to make like a short prayer.
Yeah, so that's crazy that we can see bro, we have so much in common. But it's like that gets me back up, and that keeps me going.
No, shout out, bro. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming on
Shout out to
the
you.
podcast. I appreciate it.
This was amazing.
It was. You did good.
At home.
You did good. I told you, feel at home. You know, you did good. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you, for your family, for what you guys are living through right now. It's a testimony.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to be a part of it. It's really a blessing. You are a blessing for me, my brother, my friend,
Likewise.
my groomsmen. Thanks for the speech as well you said at the wedding. I appreciate that. And guys, thanks for watching. Subscribing and liking is free. Please help your boy. You know, we're trying to grow the platform. I'm back. It's been a long time, but I'm back, and I want to be as consistent as possible. And stay tuned for the next episode as well. Thanks for your support. Thanks for your love. And I'm Rudy Samuel, and on to the next one. And I'm signing out. Thank you.
Peace.